right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
More clouds, less sun, but little rain. The wardrobe changes we'll be making over the next week.
Our top story, 2 teens remembered in the same parking lot where they lost their lives.
This kid evidently who shot him didn't have no remorse on nobody's life.
Now, 2 high school seniors are charged with their murders.
Investigators say the shooting stemmed from a drug deal involving marijuana cartridges. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Mike Bush. Tonight, 19-year-old Tyler Coleman and 18-year-old Zachary Huff are in the St. Louis County Jail, each charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder, armed criminal action, and marijuana delivery to a minor. 5 on Your Side is confirmed with officials with the Melville School District. Both are seniors at Oakville High School. Rosters and social media posts show both were members of the football team. Tonight, both are being held on $500,000 cash-only bond.
Just hours ago, family and friends gathered in the parking lot of the Black Forest apartment complex in Oakville where 15-year-old Colin Courtwright and another teen were shot and killed yesterday afternoon. A third teen was also shot and is recovering in the hospital tonight. Earlier today, Courtwright's father shared how he felt when he first heard the news.
Kind of almost fell to the ground, kept my balance. I couldn't really walk. I couldn't breathe. My mouth got dry. You know, it was something that a parent should never have to go through.
Police have not released the name of the other teen killed.
And more teen violence tonight. University City Police are searching for the person who shot a 17-year-old near Heman Park overnight. The teen is expected to survive his injuries, but anyone with information on this shooting is asked to call Crime Stoppers. That's 866-371-TIPS. The city of St. Louis is also dealing with youth violence. It's troubling to see our 5 on Your Side data that shows a dozen juveniles have been shot within city limits in just the first 6 weeks of the year.
Last year, 18 young people died from gunshot wounds. Brent Solomon spoke with one teenager who is now changing course after getting involved in criminal activity himself.
Well, the 16-year-old that you're about to meet is out of custody now on probation. We had a long conversation tonight about the factors that lead a lot of young people to crime. His message tonight, it's not worth it. 16-year-old Reese Randall and his cousin Dominic are on a path to be better. Both have dabbled in crime and know other teens who do.
The people that they saw, like growing up and everything like that, they like their uncles, dad, like older brothers, cousins and everything like that, they could have been in the streets and everything like that. And so they grew up around it and got accustomed to it.
So it's like a cycle.
Yeah.
It could be something with their family or they got to provide or just they peer pressure.
Peer pressure is what led Randall to rob a convenience store in Sunset Hills, he says. It was this time last year.
I got high with somebody I knew and did a robbery. He called me up. He was like, hey, you want to go ahead hit this lick real quick? I was like, let's go do it and everything like that. So we went to the gas station, everything. I walked in, I had the gun in my hand.
He says it was an airsoft gun. Following the crime, he spent a month in a youth detention center.
And then that first week and everything, like when I heard my mom's voice and everything like that, and I was talking to her, it just broke me. Like the pain in her voice and everything like that, that just hurt. And I was like, nah, I gotta fix this.
Now the teenager has a job. He's working to get his GED, and he now finds himself encouraging his counterparts not to go down the road he did.
But if you gonna do something, at least think about the consequences of like the actions that you about to take. And like really think about how not only is that gonna affect your family and everything like that, but also the people around you, like outside of family, like friends and everything, your future, like future job opportunities and everything like that.
The 16-year-old tells me when he was behind bars, he met a mentor, an adult who spent time in prison, and that connection helped him realize he could be better. Live in St. Louis tonight, Brent Solomon, 5 on Your Side.
Tonight, police in the Metro East are investigating after 2 people were shot and a baby hurt during a drive-by shooting outside a liquor store. New tonight, Robert Townsend talked to neighbors who raced to help the victims. Robert.
Mike, witnesses say the gunman sped through the East St. Louis neighborhood and critically wounded a man and a woman. Tonight, police are still looking for at least one shooter.
It started out as just another day for workers at Pop's liquor store in East St. Louis. But shortly after 1 Tuesday afternoon, they say their surveillance cameras caught on video someone in a silver Ford Taurus speeding down Bond Avenue and then repeatedly firing at a man, a woman, and a baby sitting in a sedan.
I heard 6 shots. I wasn't that scared already.
After he heard the gunfire, this fearless store employee ran outside because his son had just left the business near 10th and Bond. He immediately laid eyes on the 5-month-old baby the front seat male passenger was holding.
I saw the baby in there. I went just to the store and grabbed the phone, called 911. Yeah, I was in his lap. The baby's still, moving around. Check the baby. The baby's not shot.
He wasn't crying. He was calm, but he had blood on him.
Police say paramedics rushed the 28-year-old woman and 29-year-old man to a hospital with life-threatening injuries. Both live in East St. Louis.
He's my friend. He's one of our customers. He's a really good guy. Both victims were shot in the head.
The shooting happened near the John DeShields housing complex. Neighbors say they're sick of the gun violence that's ruining their neighborhood. People we talked to concerned about their own safety and asked us to not show their faces.
Nobody deserves this, and I'm praying that they put down the guns.
Yeah, I hope they catch these guys.
Police say the baby's injuries are not life-threatening. Now, if you know anything about the shooting, call the East St. Louis Police Department at 618-482-6600.
2 big losses tonight for GOP leadership on Capitol Hill. A vote to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas failed. 4 House Republicans thwarted the effort to oust Mayorkas over his handling of the southern border. The House also voted against the Israel aid package. The standalone $17 billion bill failed to get 2/3 support.
Bring them back home now.
Protesters interrupted an Israeli diplomat while he was addressing a joint session of the Missouri General Assembly today. The protesters were escorted out. One person was arrested. Both Israeli and Palestinian supporters were outside the state capitol as lawmakers considered a proposed resolution in support of Israel.
New tonight, hundreds came out to the pageant to kick off a statewide initiative to restore some legal abortions in Missouri.
More than 170,000 signatures are needed to get it on the November ballot. 5 on Your Side's Laura Barczewski is live in New City, where she talked with people on both sides of this issue. Laura.
Mike and Kelly, those in favor of this proposed constitutional amendment say if it is placed on the ballot and approved, it could prevent lawmakers from infringing on reproductive freedoms. And those who are against it believe it could be dangerous and maybe even take rights away from Missourians.
What do we want? When do we want it?
This crowd of Missouri voters is trying to get the Right to Reproductive Freedom initiative on the ballot this year by signing a statewide petition.
To me, it's about getting our rights back. I think it's really important that we be able to make decisions for our own lives, our own bodies, our own families. And so I think it's really important that Missourians are coming together and saying that we want to we want to end this ban on abortion.
The proposed constitutional amendment says the government shall not deny or infringe upon a person's fundamental right to reproductive freedom.
So that includes things like, of course, abortion, respectful birthing conditions, right to miscarriage care. That's what the amendment does. It's preventing government interference. And what the whole morale behind the amendment is saying, you know what, it should be up to Missourians and their doctors to make decisions about their personal health care.
Founder of Coalition Life, Brian Westbrook, says they oppose the proposed amendment as it has the potential to walk back decades of pro-life work.
Missouri became the very first state after the Dobbs decision become abortion-free. And the reason for that is because the people of Missouri are pro-life. The people of Missouri do not want abortion here in the state of Missouri.
Westbrook says he believes it could be damaging because of the broad language.
When you actually read it, you understand that parental rights are being removed, and also any man or woman in the state of Missouri, their rights will be diminished, and their ability to sue and protect themselves after something that's gone bad, they will no longer have that.
We'll have a link on KSDK.com where you can read the entire proposed amendment and also find out where you can sign this petition, as that has to be done in person. They have several signing events coming up. Reporting live outside the pageant, Laura Barczewski, 5 on your side.
Tomorrow, a group of concerned citizens will be in Washington, D.C. to fight for federal funding to clean up radioactive contamination in the St. Louis region. But tonight we are learning more funding might come from Jefferson City. Governor Mike Parson has requested an additional $225,000 in the state budget. The money will go to the Missouri Department of Natural Resources to study areas exposed by the radioactive waste from the development of the nuclear bomb.
Tonight, the Vatican has announced decisions on 2 parishes fighting consolidation under the All Things New plan. The Vatican upheld St. Louis Archbishop Mitchell Rosinski's decree to consolidate St. Philip Parish and St. Genevieve Parish, but it did not uphold the Archdiocese decree to close St. Richard Parish in Creve Coeur, citing the parish's financial and demographic stability. More than a dozen parishes still await a decision. And a big change is coming to a St. Louis Catholic high school. The Archdiocese of St. Louis has granted permission to De Smet Jesuit to add a middle school curriculum for 6th, 7th, and 8th grades. The move comes amid Catholic school closures and mergers under that All Things New plan.
Many have cut the cord, but are now looking again to cut costs.
If we can still watch what we want for less, I'm all ears.
The price of all those streaming services add up. Tonight, how to binge your favorite shows without breaking the bank. St. Louisans spent January in the deep freeze. Tonight, our Verify team is melting away claims it was one of the coldest months ever.
If anything, February is off to one of the warmest starts ever, and the cooler air in no hurry to get here. The changes to the weekend forecast in 7 minutes.
New tonight, the family who wants to transform Augusta into the Napa Valley of the Midwest is putting some of its real estate back on the market. According to our partners at the St. Louis Business Journal, the Hoffman family has listed 2 short-term rental properties, 2 restaurants, and a gas station. None of the family's wineries have been put on the market. Everything is more expensive these days, including how much you pay to watch TV.
And tonight, Consumer Reports shows you how to slash your streaming bill without missing your favorite shows.
So we have Netflix, Prime Video, Disney Plus, Hulu, Paramount Plus, ESPN Plus.
Brady Duran says the bills to keep up with all his favorite shows add up, but he doesn't want to miss out.
If we can still watch what we want for less, I'm all ears.
Let's get to it. Consumer Reports has 5 ways to slash your streaming bill.
First, you can become a service hopper, and that's subscribing to a service, binging all the shows you want to watch, and then canceling before moving on to a different service. And there are apps and websites like Just Watch and Real Good that can help you keep track of all the shows and movies you want to see, and then get alerts when they become available on one of the services you use.
Number 2, consider a cheaper tier. Not long ago, streaming services offered only one price option. Now, many companies have added cheaper plans. Shows come with commercials, but you'll pay less. For example, Disney Plus Premium is $13.99 a month. The basic plan is nearly half that. It's $7.99 a month. Number 3, to keep track of all your streaming subscriptions, consider moving them to one credit card, which leads to tip number 4. Each month, review every service you're paying for and determine whether you're still using it enough to justify the cost. This can also help you catch any price hikes.
So finally, you can save the most money by using one of the free services like Pluto TV, the Roku channel, or Tubi. These services have lots of classic movies and TV shows, plus some original content. In exchange for watching for free, though, you will have to put up with some ads.
Yeah, ads aren't a big deal if we're saving money.
Well, share logins while you still can. Just last week, Hulu announced it's joining Netflix and Disney Plus by cracking down on password sharing. Most services already limit the number of logins on the same account at one time.
You could soon see deflation in the drive-thru. McDonald's is reportedly looking to cut prices on some menu items due to weaker than expected sales. Prices jumped as much as 10% last year. February is off to a mild start, but just a few weeks ago, we were dealing with a bitter blast of Arctic air that slammed the St. Louis area. So did the ice storm and sub-zero wind chills make it one of the coldest Januaries on record? And Allred verifies.
A frozen fountain, frosty firefighters, a riverbank encased in ice.
There were broken house pipes, even this fire truck sliding on ice that made national headlines. January felt to many like one for the record books. But were last month's temperatures colder than normal? Let's verify. Our sources, John Carney, a meteorologist at the National Weather Service in St. Louis, and daily National Weather Service climatological reports. Of the 31 days in January, 8 were colder than normal and 23 were warmer than normal.
Right there in the middle of the month when we had that real cold snap, on the 14th, we were 34 degrees below normal. Okay, so yeah, it feels awfully cold on those days, obviously. But because there were so many more days that were above normal, the month kind of averages out.
The average temperature for January 2024 was 31.9 degrees. That's just 0.2 degrees lower than the average January. We can verify our region's average temperature during January 2024 was very close to average, only 0.2 of a degree colder than normal. While it wasn't the coldest January on record, the snow made the month stand out. It ranks third in the most days with measurable snowfall. I'm Ann Allred, 5 on your side.
What would you like for us to verify? Just send us an email to verify@ksdk.com.
Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joins us now with the Weather First forecast, and there is no snow in our forecast, just some mild temperatures.
Yeah, there's no snow, there's no real cold air, which is a bit unusual that we go this far. We knew it was going to be a warmer than average winter. That's what we were anticipating all along. And it's been so warm, Chelly's getting choked up over there. Look at this morning. We started out with a little bit of fog off to the east of St. Louis. This is from Lori over in Breeze, Illinois. That's the way they started. And then this evening with the sun setting and those high clouds coming in, these high clouds that are rolling in overhead tonight, they'll be a little thicker tonight than they were last night. You won't see as much sunshine tomorrow as we saw today. And that's going to help keep any fog off to our east. There's still some in Illinois right now, but it's much farther to the east of St. Louis. These high clouds keep streaming overhead, still mild for this time of year. Right now in St. Louis, we're about at our average high for what we would expect on the 6th of February. It's 43 degrees right now. Our high today, 59. Nowhere near a record, 10 degrees off of it, in fact. The low this morning was 29, but still way above average. The first 6 days, the average temperature so far looks to be equivalent to what would be the warmest February on record in St. Louis, or darn near it. Well, we are talking about temperatures tonight that stay above average again, lows in the 30s, not quite as cold tomorrow morning. You've seen the pictures out of California over the last couple of days. Still some rain, but the worst of this is now pushing inland. And again, as this goes over, this big disturbance and all of this unsettled weather, as that goes over the Rockies, it gets squeezed out. So most of the moisture tends to rain or snow out over those areas. And then by the time we get that moisture here, it's mostly high and mid-level cloud cover. We have to wait to see if the Gulf of Mexico is going to get active. The answer to that is not really. So we're going to be looking at a partly to mostly cloudy sky at times tomorrow, 50s to around 60 for the high. An uneventful day tomorrow. Now the winds pick up on Thursday, especially in the afternoon heading into Thursday evening. But it's mild air that's being whipped around, mostly cloudy skies, maybe a few showers developing, particularly east and southeast of St. Louis. There won't be a whole lot of rain, and many of us could end up not only going tomorrow and Thursday on the dry side, but also into Friday, perhaps through the weekend. So the limited rain chances, it's a thing. There's not going to be much rain for most of us over the next few days. We're still ahead of that cold front on Friday, which means we may hit 70 degrees, and then temperatures will back off a bit as we head into the weekend. Of course, remember, this is Mardi Gras weekend in Soulard. You've got the Bud Light Grand Parade happening on Saturday. That steps off around noon. It should be partly cloudy. Temperatures working through the 40s in the morning and into the lower 50s during the afternoon hours. That's pretty mild and dry weather, so that's good. And then next week we're in the 40s. Valentine's Day looks like mid-40s for St. Louis towards the end of the week. Trending a little bit cooler, but none of that's really below average. We're trending towards average or slightly below. And as we go through February, every day you get past
right.
next, it's
and
a little
March
bit warmer.
is right around the corner.
Yep.
All right, Scott, thanks.
Let's check in with Frank with sports.
Big news for the Blues, new digs for City SC. And we have a story tonight that you may be talking about tomorrow at the water cooler. Are there still water coolers? We'll be right back.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers, driving your way since 1942.
The next best thing to the Blues hosting a Winter Classic game is the Blues playing a Winter Classic game close by. How about Chicago and Wrigley Field next January? The Blues against the Blackhawks and Connor Bedard. It will be the third Winter Classic game for the note. The last one here was epic.
This 5 on Your Side St. Louis City SC coverage is sponsored by Together Credit Union.
City SC unveiled their new headquarters today, and it's real and spectacular. It's the old Union Square Plaza building, part of an old manufacturing plant. It's called SOMA, short for South of Market House. It also has an event center that can be rented out. High school hoops tonight. Chad Anderson and Ladue having an incredible season hosting Lindbergh. Flyers are 16-4, and Greg Levitt will hit the layup after some nice passing. But Calvin Pearson will drain a three. Ladue moves to 20-1 after a 60-57 win. Let's go to the east side. O'Fallon hosting Collinsville. And remember when your coach said, follow your shot? Rennie Harris is relentless on the glass, and he's going to eventually get the bucket. But as the saying goes, you can't teach size. Collinsville has 6'9" Zach Chambers. They roll 58-48. DeSmet recently became the first Catholic all-boys Jesuit high school to start an inclusive education program. It allowed the young man behind me a chance to go there. And as you're about to see, with the help of photographer Tom Stasiak, DeSmet made a great decision. We often call DeSmet Jesuit High School the Palace on Ballast. A lot of great things have happened in that gym, but perhaps none better than the one authored by this 14-year-old boy with Down syndrome named Aiden Haddikin.
He's brought a lot of excitement to our school, and he's a big basketball guy, so love seeing him have that kind of moment like he did Friday. What's up, Aiden?
Hey, guys. Hey.
Aiden is one of the more popular kids at school. Everyone knows him.
Hey, what's up? No, it's the best time of my life, what I do.
Do you remember who they play?
His peer mentor is senior Andrew Raga. You ever see him in a bad mood?
Never. Aiden's never in a bad mood. You're always having a lot of fun, always have a smile, always want to give someone a hug or wave at someone.
So, Aiden, who would win in a shooting contest, you or Andrew?
Oh, me. Yeah.
That's because when Aiden is not walking to class with Andrew, he's in the gym working on his famous half-court shot.
Oh, you're getting close.
And he decided to make one for us.
Oh, there you go, Aiden.
I come in here all the time. Aiden's shooting in here in the afternoon. I've seen him knock it in a few times.
Who is your favorite basketball player?
Oh, I'm going to say Steph Curry.
Here you go, Aiden. You got it.
Aiden is 14 years old, 5 foot tall, and 115 pounds of energy and love.
Holy, almost.
How are you treated by the DeSmet students like every day?
Great. Every single person loves me.
And they really loved Aiden on Friday at Spirit Week when he was asked to sink his famous half-court shot.
He's waving his arms like this, getting everybody hyped. And then, you know, everybody's paying attention, everybody's chanting Aiden.
That was one of those things that you're not really prepared for. Just the reaction of our students is pretty awesome.
I was afraid he was going to get trampled, but he ended up being okay.
If the teachers wouldn't have stopped him, they probably would have raised him up, put him on their shoulders or something like that, but definitely like a Rudy moment.
Seeing someone like Aiden do it and everybody like cheer him on, everybody want him to succeed is something really cool to see. And that he just, you know, had a moment for himself and everybody really enjoyed the moment.
What's up, man?
Hey, buddy.
Can I get your autograph?
Yeah.
I mean, you're a celebrity all weekend.
Yeah, dang.
I love Aiden.
He's the most popular kid in that school right now. And I asked Kent Williams, smart guy, what would you think late in the game? Would you dress him? He goes, Aiden and I have talked about it. So you're down 2. Go to Aiden for the three-pointer from half court.
What I love is the reaction from everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
jumps out of the, you know, normally when people storm the court, that's not a good thing.
Right.
In this case, it was.
And he
just
said he's
walking-
having fun.
Oh, yeah, and just walking the hallways, high-fiving. Everybody knows. I mean, most people don't know freshmen. Everybody knows Aiden.
Yeah. Love that story.
Great story.
Thanks, Frank.
Record bets, the big money being wagered on the big game.
Sunday's big game is expected to bring in big money. According to the American Gaming Association, nearly 68 million Americans plan to place a wager on a record $23 billion. That's $7 billion more than last year's record high. Sports betting is legal in 38 states, including Illinois, but not Missouri.
$7 billion more? Well, some older fans are getting in on the betting, too. Chiefs fans living at a senior living facility in Overland Park, Kansas, have a friendly wager, though, with a sister facility in the Bay Area. The losing team owes the winning one a congratulatory video. Some of these residents are more than just fans. They're also former employees of the team.
And Scott has one final check of the weather, so you know what you're expecting when you wake up in the morning.
You know, it won't be quite as cold as it was this morning. Most of us were in the 20s. Pretty frosty start tomorrow morning. Mostly cloudy. High thin clouds are thicker tomorrow. Starting in the 30s, back close to 60 for the high. And the winds will really pick up on Thursday.
There you have it. 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
Be sure to start your day with Today in St. Louis. That starts at 4 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.